Movie begins with Lena sitting alone inside a sealed glass room. Bright lights, white walls, and a large window where scientists in protective suits keep questioning her. They want to know how she survived, what she saw, what she ate, and whether anyone else made it out alive with her. Lena struggles to answer. Her voice is weak. Every time they ask something about what happened inside, she just repeats one word. Kane. Then we jump back to the past. Lena is teaching biology, explaining how cells divide and how one small change in DNA can create deadly diseases. Her voice is calm, but her heart is broken. Her husband Kane has been missing for a year since he left on a secret mission. No return. No information. Everyone assumes he's gone forever except her. After class, her colleague Daniel invites her for a dinner party. He tries to comfort her, saying she shouldn't keep isolating herself. But Lena declines and goes home. She spends the evening looking at old photos of Kane and starts crying, remembering their happy moments. She still can't accept his disappearance. Then one day, while she is in her bedroom, Kane suddenly appears. He just walks in like he was never gone. Lena is shocked and emotional. She hugs him tightly, kisses him, and keeps asking where he has been all this time. But Kane looks confused and disconnected. He can't answer anything. All he says is, "I don't know." Lena notices he is acting strangely. He avoids eye contact, speaks slowly, and behaves like he doesn't even remember his life. And suddenly, he starts vomiting blood. Lena panics and rushes him into an ambulance. But while they are on the way, black armored vehicles block the road. Government special forces break into the ambulance, separate Lena from Kane, and sedate her despite her screams. Everything goes black. Lena wakes up in a secret facility called Area X. Kane is there, but in a critical condition, lying inside a transparent chamber surrounded by medical machines. Doctors tell her his organs are failing and his cells are changing rapidly in ways science cannot explain. A woman enters, Dr. Ventress. She tells Lena about a strange phenomenon called the Shimmer. It started from a meteor crash near a lighthouse. Since then, a glowing wall has been expanding day by day. Many teams of soldiers, including Kane's group, entered that place to find answers. But not a single person ever returned, except Kane. And whatever is happening to him now, started inside that Shimmer. Ventress tells Lena the Shimmer is growing larger and could reach cities soon. So they are planning a new mission, scientists this time instead of soldiers, to go inside and study what the Shimmer is doing to life on Earth. Lena realizes this is the only way to understand what happened to her husband and possibly save him. With tears in her eyes and determination in her heart, she decides to join the team. The decision is made. They are going into the Shimmer. The team walks toward the Shimmer, a giant glowing curtain that looks like a soap bubble stretched across the air. Colors move through it like light underwater. Lena stares at it, thinking of Kane, the last person who made it out of this nightmare alive. They take a deep breath and step inside. Cut. Suddenly, we jump back to a moment from Lena's past. She is in her bedroom, with Daniel. They are close, intimate. You can clearly feel Lena is broken by Kane's disappearance, and she made a mistake she regrets deeply. This memory hurts her even more now, because Kane had returned, but changed. Cut back to inside the Shimmer. Lena wakes up inside a tent, breathing fast. She looks around. The whole team is already awake. Ventress tells them to check their supplies, and they realize food for 3 to 4 days is missing. Their watches don't work. And none of them remember when they pitched the tents. It feels like the Shimmer erased their memories. They move forward and discover strange plants. Different flowers with different shapes and colors growing on the same branch, something biologically impossible. Lena explains that this looks like DNA from different plants mixed together, as if the Shimmer is rewriting nature. The place looks like a beautiful alien garden, peaceful but terrifying. Suddenly they hear a deep growling sound from a nearby boathouse. Before they react, a gigantic mutated alligator bursts out of the dark water, bigger than anything on Earth, its teeth layered like a shark, its skin rotting like a zombie. It grabs Josie and pulls her underwater. Lena and Anya fire their guns nonstop, shot after shot, but the creature refuses to die. Finally, after countless bullets, it collapses. They drag the corpse and examine it. Inside its mouth, instead of normal teeth, it has rows of extra teeth like another animal got mixed into it. Anya shivers and says this place is wrong. Ventress, though scared, keeps her focus. We keep moving. As they walk deeper, they realize none of their equipment works properly. Not the compass. Not the radio. Not even the walkie-talkies. Signal, directions, even the map, useless. The Shimmer is like another universe with different rules. After some time, they reach the old army base Kane's team once used, but now it is broken, overgrown, and completely deserted. The gates are rusted, towers collapsed, and wind whistles through empty metal frames. Something terrible happened here long before their arrival. Movie continues. They slowly enter the abandoned military base. The walls are covered with vines like nature has grown over everything. It clearly shows this place hasn't been used for a long time. They spread out searching for clues, anything that can explain what really happened to the previous team, including Lena's husband. Inside one room, they find a table filled with moss and empty food packets. And then, a video camera. Ventress plays the footage. What they see next shocks everyone. It's Kane, Lena's husband, along with his squad. They tied another soldier to a chair, alive. Kane takes a knife and slowly cuts open the man's stomach. Instead of intestines, there is something moving like a huge worm or snake inside his body. The soldier screams in pain while the others panic. Whoever or whatever he has become, it's not human anymore. The entire team watches the recording in complete silence, their faces frozen in fear. Lena's eyes fill with tears. She can't believe the man doing all this is her loving husband. Something terrible must have happened to him inside the Shimmer. After the video, everyone is shaken, especially Anya, who refuses to believe what she saw. She says it must be a trick, maybe the man was already dead. But Lena and Josie know the truth, they just witnessed a living body mutating from the inside. They decide to search further. The group walks into another building that looks like an old swimming pool. As soon as Lena shines her flashlight inside, their blood runs cold. There's a dead body, stuck on the wall, completely transformed. Its chest and face are split open like a flower and frozen in a horrifying position. It looks like a human body mixed with coral and fungus. The mutation is extreme, something from a nightmare. Josie notices that the body structure resembles something growing, like plants copying a human shape. The team realizes the Shimmer is not only destroying things, it's changing everything, mixing DNA of humans, plants, and animals. The fear hits them deeply. If this happened to a fully trained soldier, what will happen to them next? Ventress decides they must keep moving deeper, no matter the danger, because turning back won't help them understand or escape what's happening inside. Their only hope is to reach the lighthouse, the origin of the Shimmer. But Lena quietly hides her fear. If Kane has come this far into madness, she must finish what he started. Suddenly, they hear a loud animal roar echoing in the forest. Not a normal roar, something deep, broken, like a creature crying and screaming at the same time. They tighten their grip on guns, but the night goes silent again. To calm themselves, they all try to sleep. But the darkness in the Shimmer is different. It feels like there are eyes watching them from every side. That night, they set up a camp near the base. The trees around them seem to move like they are alive, swaying even without wind. Everyone is mentally shaken after seeing the horrible mutated corpse. Shepard especially appears scared, trying to hold herself together. Lena sits alone, staring at a locket with her husband's photo inside. She whispers to herself, missing Kane more than ever. Guilt starts eating her up, because before Kane left for mission, Lena had cheated on him with Dan. She regrets it now, thinking maybe Kane had found out and that's why he volunteered for such a deadly operation. The guilt and pain are killing her inside. Suddenly, they hear a loud animal roar echoing in the forest. Not a normal roar, something deep, broken, like a creature crying and screaming at the same time. They tighten their grip on guns, but the night goes silent again. To calm themselves, they all try to sleep. But the darkness in the Shimmer is different. It feels like there are eyes watching them from every side. Hours later, a blood-freezing scream tears through the forest. The entire team jumps awake. Lena grabs her rifle and rushes out, but Shepard is gone. Her scream still echoes, but they can't see anything in the pitch-black jungle. Ventress orders them to stay together, but they realize something terrifying. Whatever killed Shepard didn't kill her instantly. It dragged her away, alive. Her screams slowly fade. Then silence. The group looks around helplessly. The Shimmer has taken one more person. They stay awake the rest of the night, too terrified to close their eyes, knowing that the creature who took Shepard could return any second. The next morning, everyone is shaken. Fear becomes real now. If they stay longer, they won't survive. Josie says they should go back. Anya aggressively insists on returning immediately, she's panicking. But Ventress doesn't listen. She says going back is pointless, because they're already too deep inside. Whatever is happening to their bodies and mind won't stop now. Ventress walks away first, determined. Lena looks down at her blood-stained hands. She knows this Shimmer is changing all of them slowly, and no one can predict how. They pack up their camp and continue walking, but now every shadow in the forest feels like death waiting to strike. They move deeper into the forest. The atmosphere becomes strangely beautiful but unsettling, flowers growing in impossible shapes, trees bending like they are melting. Suddenly, Josie notices something on her hands. Her fingerprints are disappearing. Her skin design is changing, shifting, like it's being rewritten. Lena asks if she is okay, but Josie quickly hides her hands, pretending everything is fine. She doesn't want the others to panic more. As they continue walking, they hear soft footsteps. Out from the bushes step two white deer-like creatures with branches instead of antlers, covered in flowers. They move together in perfect synchrony as if they share the same mind. It looks beautiful, but also terrifying. The Shimmer is mixing everything: animals, plants, DNA, memories. They finally reach a small settlement of abandoned beach houses. The place looks empty but dangerous. They enter one house and secure the area for safety. Even in daytime, the Shimmer feels like a prison. Inside, Anya becomes mentally unstable. Fear and stress push her into denial. She thinks Ventress is hiding something. She turns suspicious toward Lena, accusing her of lying about Kane and about what's happening to their bodies. Lena tries to calm her, but Anya finds the tattoo symbol suddenly appearing on Lena's arm, the same tattoo Kane had in the video. That pushes Anya over the edge. Night falls. Anya loses control. She knocks Lena unconscious. Ties Lena, Ventress, and Josie to chairs. She screams that Lena is lying and Kane's video was fake. Shepard's death is haunting Anya. She thinks the others might have killed Shepard. While she's yelling, a terrifying sound echoes again, Shepard's scream, but it comes from inside another creature. The wall shakes. Footsteps approach. A giant mutated bear enters the house. Flesh missing, skull visible, and when it roars, it screams in Shepard's voice. The creature has absorbed her voice during mutation. Fear freezes everyone. Anya fires bullets and tries to fight it, but the bear rips her throat open and drags her body away. Lena and Josie struggle to free themselves. Ventress manages to distract the creature long enough for Lena to grab a weapon. The bear turns toward Lena, roaring Shepard's dying scream again, pure nightmare. Boom! Lena finally lands a clean shot and kills it. Silence falls. They breathe hard, shaking. 2 teammates gone. The Shimmer is not just mutating bodies. It is stealing their identity, their voice, their soul. They know now there is no going back the same. If they want to survive, they must reach the lighthouse. The next morning, the group is broken. Only 3 remain: Lena, Josie, and Ventress. The fear and trauma are visible on their faces. No one talks about Anya or Shepard. The Shimmer has taken them, and their minds are slowly slipping too. Ventress suddenly decides to leave alone. She says every minute they delay, the Shimmer grows stronger. Without saying goodbye, she quietly walks away toward the lighthouse, like she already knows her fate. Now only Lena and Josie remain. Josie sits near the plants outside the house and tries to understand what's happening. She tells Lena that the Shimmer doesn't just destroy, it refracts and duplicates everything: DNA, memories, behavior, even emotions. Josie finally opens up about her trauma. She always hurt herself with cuts on her arms. That was her way to stop pain in her mind. But now, she doesn't feel like hurting anymore. She is changing, accepting. Lena begs her to stay with her until they reach the lighthouse. But Josie smiles softly and says, "If I stay with you, I'll end up like Anya. Or like Shepard. Or worse, like that thing in the pool." She stands up and slowly walks into the garden of strange flowers. The flowers there are shaped like human bodies, growing like perfect plant silhouettes of people. And while Lena watches, Josie's body starts blooming with pink flowers. Her arms slowly transform into vines. She doesn't scream. She doesn't fight. She peacefully becomes part of the Shimmer and disappears between the flower people forever. Now Lena is truly alone. Her determination hardens. She takes her gun, supplies, and follows Ventress toward the lighthouse. The closer she gets, the environment looks unreal, like a dream mixed with a nightmare. Plants shifting colors, ground turning into crystal, the sky swirling like liquid. Finally, she reaches the beach. At the end of the shore, she sees it. The lighthouse, glowing with the same alien light that created the Shimmer. The place where everything started. And where Cain lost himself. Lena loads her rifle, heart pounding. She walks slowly toward the entrance. The answers she is searching for, and the truth about her husband, is waiting inside. Her shadow stretches across the sand as she steps into the darkness of the lighthouse. Lena enters the lighthouse and the world inside immediately feels unlike any natural place she's walked through before. The air is thick and warm, like a greenhouse. Light no longer behaves like light, it pours and bends, pooling in corners and running down walls like liquid glass. The walls themselves are faceted, covered with hexagonal, crystalline growths that catch the refracted light and split it into slow, crawling rainbows. The surfaces seem wet but are not. They vibrate with a soft, internal hum, as if the building itself were breathing. Every surface is alive with texture, ribs of translucent protein, tendrils that glint with oily iridescence, and membranes that ripple. Bioluminescent filaments thread the gaps like veins of sunlight. When Lena walks, her shadow peels off her body for a moment and lingers on a wall as a perfect, delayed echo, an early hint that this place does not simply reflect, it duplicates and lags behind life itself. She finds Ventress first. The older woman is not whole. Parts of her have become something else, a lattice of flesh and plant and crystal, eyes bright and unfocused. Ventress speaks, but her voice is both herself and not, layered, like 2 recordings played at once. There are moments when she seems lucid, then she dissolves into a foreign logic. Lena thinks she can still find a human in her, but the thing that looks like Ventress has accepted the Shimmer's rewriting. The compassion and the control that once defined her are corroded into curiosity and calm surrender. Further in, Lena discovers the geometric core, a cavernous, cathedral-like chamber of pollen-soft light and glassy tendrils. In the center is the organism, not a single monster but a living mirror. It's a bulbous, gelatinous structure that refracts and duplicates incoming matter. When Lena approaches, the organism reacts like a sensor, touching her with threads of light. Those threads do not simply feel, they read. They map her biology, her movements, her history, and they begin to reweave it. And then the mimic is born. At first it is a shimmer on the floor, then a distortion in the air, then a woman rising into being, a copy of Lena assembled from the shimmer's borrowed pieces. The copy walks like Lena, breathes like Lena, and in its face Lena sees a perfect echo of herself. But the echo is not empty, it carries an impulse to imitate, to learn, to become indistinguishable. It hums with curiosity. When Lena watches the mimic touch the fragments of a broken photograph, the copy's fingers open and close with a tenderness so intimate it makes Lena stagger. Their confrontation is not instantly violent. The first exchanges are observation, each studies the other like a scientist and specimen. Lena tastes the surreal irony. She, a biologist who studies copying and mutation in the safe classroom light of slides and microscopes, now faces copying made monstrous. The mimic is the Shimmer's method: copy, recombine, test, adapt. But the situation crescendos. The mimic is not content to be an experiment. It wants to explore identity. It tries language, gestures, and then it seizes motion. Lena and her double circle each other. They mirror and unbalance. The mimic moves with a slight delay, like a delayed echo of memory. Each blow struck by Lena is answered by a version of herself that has learned those movements only a breath later. The fight becomes a mirror ballet of violence. They slash, parry, and trade blows with blades that flash against the crystalline walls. Each strike is personal, not because the mimic wants to kill Lena, but because it seeks to become Lena fully, muscle by muscle, scar by scar. It copies a scar on Lena's hand, it copies the ragged breathing of someone who has lost everything. At one point they touch each other's faces and feel the aching sameness. Lena sees the mimic form a tear and knows with a terrible clarity, this thing will become her story, using the pieces of her past like thread. A key thing happens in that chamber. The mimic does not merely mimic outward form, it mimics interiority. It repeats a memory in Lena's head, Cain's face, the promise he made. For a moment it seems to understand love and guilt, to wear them like borrowed clothes. Lena's fury then turns to grief. The fight becomes less about survival and more about whether identity is something you can keep when the world refactors the rules of copying. Fire appears as a crude, human counter to the Shimmer's glassy world. Lena uses flame like a statement. Flame is destructive, simple, irreversible. She sets alight a phosphorus flare, or a canister of fuel, whatever bright, consuming fire she can find. The blaze throws the room into high contrast. Liquid rainbows shudder and then blacken. The mimic's edges fuzz under heat like wax melting. The shimmer is aerial and subtle. Fire is blunt and absolute. Where light refracts, flame consumes. As the blaze spreads, the mimic falters. The fire drives the organism into defensive spasms, causing strings of refractive tissue to recoil and curl. In that panic, the mimic's perfect imitation fails. It severs into fragments that hang like blown glass. Lena, too, is burned and marked. She walks away with a body that no longer is a pure original. The fire saves her from being copied fully, but it also destroys what could have been recovery. After the fire, Lena wanders through the ruined interior. The plant-like growths are charred, the crystalline hum is muted. She approaches an alcove and finds a single object that breaks her, Cain's lighter, small and mundane, sitting on a slab of mirror glass. She recognizes its nick, the weight in her hand, the history in a finger's crease. She brings it to the glass chamber, and sees the holographic echo of Cain, not the man returned behind glass at Area X, but the idea of him, folded into the shimmer. She watches as the organism performs its slow mimicry of Kane's features and at the same time produces an object that looks and feels like the real thing. The lesson is horror and clarity. The shimmer can copy a person's outer forms and some of their gestures, but it assembles those pieces out of available matter, not memory. The Kane that reemerges is made from the shimmer's syntax. It looks like Kane, behaves like Kane in small ways, but it's constructed. When Lena meets a version of Kane, whether in the final scenes or later when she returns, his behavior is both tender and unreadable. He recognizes her, he smiles, he lights a cigarette, but his eyes hold an echo, a refracted distance. It is impossible to say if he is the original Kane or a copy so complete that being human is indistinguishable from being an image. The film, and our story, leaves it ambiguous. Identity here is less about a metaphysical soul and more about the continuity of being. The copy can be indistinguishable in function. Whether that is salvation or annihilation is what the story makes us sit with. Symbolically, the lighthouse sequence is where the film lays bare its thesis. The shimmer is a mirror that doesn't simply reflect but rewrites. It recombines DNA, behavior, memory, it makes simulacra. The mimic is the shimmer's most intimate experiment. Can it build you from borrowed pieces and make those pieces feel like you? The fire is humanity's blunt refusal to be endlessly copied, paint thrown into a machine to see its seams. In the last frames, Lena steps out of the lighthouse into a world that is still shimmering at the edges. She carries marks of the shimmer on her body. She is both survivor and altered specimen. When she meets Kane outside, whether a true man or a convincing simulacrum, the emotional core remains. They look at each other and say what people say, "Hold me, I'm here." But the film refuses a tidy answer. Kane's eyes, the slow blink, the flicker of something else, those remain. They speak to the tension between continuation and replacement, between grief and the possibility that an echo can soothe pain just by being present. The final image is quiet, ambiguous, almost merciful. Lena walks away from the lighthouse and the camera holds on the shimmering field that once cut the world. The shimmer continues to refract life in quiet, unstoppable ways. The last line is not explanation but experience. The creature did what copying does. It made something new from what it found. Whether that new thing is better, worse, or simply different is the question left for us to live with. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for the next movie explanation.